And today we're talking about media and culture, and we're going to talk to some people about their childhood heroes from the media. Last time I asked this, everybody told me their parents or their grandparents, and I was like, okay, let me change that question.
To be totally honest, it was Chuck Norris and Jackie Chan.
Chuck Norris and Jackie Chan, who did they appear together?
No, I'm thinking you're thinking of Jet Li.
Yeah. Okay, so what was it about these guys?
Mainly the fact that no matter what, they usually stood up for the little person, and they usually had good moral upbringings. And
Okay, so that's like the good answer, but the real reason's what? They're cool, right?
no, actually, I just like them more so because of
Moral
that.
stuff? Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm
Sorry.
odd. I'm
You're
like
very-
the weird kid of everything. I'll be honest, I'm the outcast.
That's, okay, and Chuck Norris, is he going to ever have a comeback?
Not now.
All right. Other childhood heroes, anybody? Yes.
It was really Britney Spears for the longest, and the Pink Power Ranger.
All right, and okay, as a role model, which I guess we could come back to Jackie Chan, but as a role model, Britney Spears, was that ever a problem for your parents or anything?
No, not at first. They just laughed at me. I used to just walk around, dance, and sing to her when I was younger.
How about since her whoopses?
Her now, she was just then back then.
I guess it could have been Lindsay Lohan, so that's better. All right, back here. Who is it?
Jada Pinkett.
Jada Pinkett.
What she said, like in one interview, she was like, I never went to school, but she never finished college. So that kind of inspired me to just keep pushing through. So I'm going to do that.
That's awesome. Let's go back to Britney Spears. No. Okay, so
I mean, it made me I danced throughout high school. It made me want to dance.
I actually do. I think that we've put too much focus on everybody trying to be pretty and everything, where we've gotten away from our core values, and we're becoming a very, very shallow society, kind of like Rome did right before it fell.
hey, by the way, anybody Apocalypto? The quote before that movie about society falling apart and they were at their height. A very tough movie. Okay, so society's falling apart, and you think we're like nearing the end of something?
Well, I mean, if you go and look through history of Rome and us, we're falling step for step how they did before they fell. And it's just kind of alarming to me that, because a lot of people don't pay attention to history, but if you don't know it, it's going to repeat itself. So we're not learning from their mistakes, and that bothers me.
All right, that's the kind of stuff we need to get a conversation going. Anybody have a majorly different idea about society?
I think it has to do like the generational gap, because like you see kids, it's completely different just from like my generation to like younger kids that are younger than me, and even though some people still consider us in the same generation, it's completely different because some kids, they're so obsessed with like games and stuff. Like I went outside, I played stuff. I worked at a summer camp this summer, and like the kids were looking at me like, what am I supposed to do with this ball? I go, you play Foursquare. They go, what's Foursquare? I go, what do you mean, what's Foursquare? And it's just like, they have no concept of anything that's not connected to like batteries. And
So society's falling apart because of gaming and not being connected
different.
to
They're
reality?
just antisocial pretty much, because like even though they were like doing stuff where they were connected, like they had like this connector cable where they were playing with each other, but they weren't talking to each other. They're like, oh, did you finish? They were texting each other. Like even the older kids in 6th through 8th, they were texting each other, and they're sitting literally at the table with each other.
Which anybody seen a film called Existence? Heads up. Sorry, you're right. What's that the director's name? Anyway, interesting film about the future and connecting to gaming. So really, two negative opinions of society. One based more on, I guess, like morals and shallowness of what we're doing. The other one, though, based on technology. I mean, you're really saying technology is hurting our youth. Am I right? Yeah. In a sense. Okay. I'm gonna try and go around the other side next time. Marcus.
I think society is just fine. I think we're smarter than we've ever been. We're more accepting. We're more willing to try new things. As far as in the South, we're still a very conservative area of the nation, but you start to notice like different things are popping up. Like there's now more art schools in the South than there's ever been. There's more Democrats in office in the South than there's ever been before. And so it really shows a building of knowledge and a building of acceptance. And I think it's just going to keep going that way. It's going to change for sure. Every generation gets different. Like kids will spend hours on Facebook every day. But even though technology changes, I think we're a little scary to use this word, but evolving as a society, becoming, I said it just happened.
So we're doing okay and actually better than in the past is kind of your stance, which is the first positive response we've had.
Well, it comes to the fact that like when Rome was around, they didn't have things like, they didn't have connectivity with other nations. They didn't have the ability to talk to anyone specifically. Like you can communicate with anyone in the world.
The media is portraying what we want to see. I think with the input on the internet and things that people study it. People study what we're doing, what we're looking at. 50 years ago was a completely different time. So they're having more relationships with every human being of every walk of life. And I think that's exciting. So I think that's what you're going to see more and more of. You're going to see more and more of the evolved, of the change in the future. That's what people are going to want to see. That's what's going on now. That's what I think.